Hello, welcome to episode 185 of the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table while we talk about the outdoors. This week we got a full house. We got myself, Nick, Tom, Frank, and we're joined by our good buddy Austin. Austin's been on the podcast quite a few times already. He's one of our good buddies that hunts with us up in New York, does a ton of work up there with us. Can't thank him enough for that. But just recently he's picked up a lease over in Ohio, and don't want to give away too much, but it's quite a haul from where he's at right now. So your tactics for scouting and planning for the season have to change a little bit. So we were just talking to Austin about that, how he's going to overcome some of like the obstacles that come with, hunting a property that's so far away. But without further ado, let's get tuned into this week's episode.
So I did the cardinal sin. I pull up my bow and then I look dead at his antlers. I got out of the truck, and when I slammed the door, I heard gobbles all around me.
Let's see it.
Alaska, moose, spot and stalk. That is the bucket list. I agree.
White Cat Outdoors. White Cat Outdoors.
What's up, everybody? We got the usual crew, me, Nick, and Tom here today.
That's right, here I am.
Glad to be in the studio.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Hope
And
everyone had a happy 4th.
yeah, it was the 4th of July. So,
We celebrated just like Lady Liberty would have wanted us to.
happy birthday, America. We had a good time.
It was good. Good stuff. Frank, we got another familiar face in the studio tonight.
We do. We've heard from him time and time again. Big buck killer.
Big bear killer.
Big bear killer. Big turkey killer.
Oh, hey now.
Dude's just a stone cold killer. Our buddy Austin Enterline. It's good to have you again, buddy.
Good to be back. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Austin, the main reason we wanted to bring you on this week was we've been kind of talking about, bachelor groups of bucks and then doe management. We're basically all pre-hunting season sort of topics. And late last year, you fell into a lease over in Ohio. And, we won't disclose where in Ohio, but what we can say is that it's, a couple hours from us. So it's, not right in your backyard. And
Definitely a good drive down. I mean, it's probably about 6-hour drive.
okay, so property's 6 hours away. The lease is for the whole year, and it's obviously not feasible to, scout it weekly and do a bunch of different things. So we wanted to talk to you about how you're preparing for the season with a new piece of property that you've never hunted before, but it's also 6 hours away. So what have you been doing, the past few months getting ready for the season?
So pretty much when we first got that lease, I had no idea what it was even going to look like. 'Cause
Was
my dad
anybody...
hunted there before 2 years ago?
Oh, your dad has hunted it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had the good idea what was going to be down there. I mean, if you get a lease, there's no guarantees what you'll see or not. So, but so far, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I'm seeing some good bucks on the.
You have cameras out now?
Yeah, I have 3 Tacticams sent on my phone from down there.
So if you've never hunted there or anything, how did you? So you went down there. Like, did you scout it all on Onyx Maps before you started putting cameras out? So like what was your first impressions?
Yeah.
Weekend one down there.
It was actually when we were turkey hunting. I was hunting down in Kentucky, which is a good, further drive down, but it was on the way. So we stopped there. I was with my dad at the time. We ended up getting him a gobbler, but he was showing me around the property, places where he had stands and there was feeders, and it looked real good. So
How big is the property?
It's 220 acres or something.
Okay, so you got
like
a good
that.
chunk of property.
Yeah. So there is a bean field on the front part.
It's on your property?
What's it?
It's
yeah.
on the lease?
Yeah, and it cuts down through a couple other properties, which there's fields corn and beans. So I mean, we have it's such a good setup there. So fortunate to have it.
So besides the bean field in the front, what kind of terrain are you looking at for the rest of the property?
Field. I mean, it gets into a little. I mean, there's 2 ravines, I guess you could say. One medium one and one that's just it's a straight cliff.
Is that wooded in that area, like where the ravines are?
Yeah, it's wooded. And then out back, there's a clear cut they just had logged out a couple of years ago, which is pretty cool to see too. Could hold a lot of good bedding area back in there.
So after walking the property and you figure out, you're going to put some cameras out, whereabouts on the property, like what sort of areas did you put your cameras on to try and start getting a survey?
When I went down there, I brought 3 licking blocks just to kind of get an idea, and actually it was an old stump. It looked like someone was using years beforehand, and I just set them on that. It was probably 80 yards from the field, and that one's doing pretty good right now. And then I just threw a couple out back, but I plan on moving the cameras to a couple scrapes I found. And
when did you find the scrapes?
that's when we were turkey hunting.
Okay. So do they look like they're just like active scrapes now, or?
Yeah, I mean they were hitting it.
Just one of them
through
like
the
community.
fall. Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes there are a few scrapes that seem to get hit year round, just as like a community thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just let all the other deer know who's in the area, kind of thing.
Is it something like that, or did it look like it hadn't really been touched since fall?
I mean, there was like 3 altogether. I've never seen something like that, but I mean, there were just like 3 up and around this one tree.
Yeah, I've seen a couple spots like that where it seems like a few scrapes around one tree, and then over time, if it's like a community style scrape like that, it seems to almost just turn into like all the way around the tree.
Yeah.
Especially like that big apple tree.
Yes.
Like apple trees are good for that. There's a lot of low-lying branches. They come up from all around it, and like eventually it kind of grows into one big scrape.
Yeah. And those aren't typically the scrapes I like pay attention to during the rut, but it does help give you a pretty good survey early in the year, like what kind of caliber of deer you've got on the property.
Yeah. So like with your early season cameras, not early season, but preseason cameras, I know like around here, places that we can hunt all the time, we're kind of just looking for inventory. We don't really care about places that we're going to hunt because we can easily move cameras later in the season. Since it's a place you can't go very readily, are you changing your tactic a little bit? Are you going more for in areas you want to hunt eventually, or are you just putting them on places that are high traffic right now so you can get an inventory of what deer are in the area?
Yeah, so with this lease, there's 7 other guys, and that's I mean, that space gets eaten up pretty quick. So I'm hopefully going to be looking at that bean field the hardest, because I know early season they love the beans when they're still bright and green. So if I get set up along there and maybe get it done in the first month, early October, then I'd be happy with that. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for right now.
So when does the season open up in Ohio? Are you guys
September
earlier?
29th.
September 29th. So it's
the
pretty
same
much
day.
Same as PA. Are you going to go there for opening day, or are you going to hunt PA first, then go there like the following weekend?
I'll probably be hunting down there early as hard as I can. So.
Do you plan on taking time off to go hunt Ohio early season, or is that still
probably
saving
not.
that for the rut?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea yet, but
Probably depends on what you're starting to see as
Yeah.
it gets close. Now, with 7 guys on the lease, are you guys coordinating at all so you're not all down there at the same time, or how do you guys looking to attack that?
yeah, it sounds like I haven't talked to the guys. My dad was. He's just kind of like my little chain link through them. So he said during rifle season, he plans on to draw sticks for tree stands or whatever. But I mean, it's pretty much free game for archery season, which a lot of those guys don't archery hunt anyway.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's perfect. guy to
Don't
go
have
on
all the
lease.
competition
Well-
for when you really want to be in the woods.
Yeah, I mean that's what I heard. So I better not get down there. There's 6 trucks parked there. So
Are you guys? Do you like share trail cam photos with each other and like, hey, this is what I'm getting over here. This is what I'm getting here.
yeah, everyone thinks you're skipping out on each other, not seeing bucks. So we just told them just put your camera up where we got the bait, So we got 2 cameras on the food source or whatever. So
Oh, so you guys have like multiple like people putting cameras on the same bait so everybody can
right, yeah.
just
So you
Like I
know
said-
no one's lying. Well, Austin is pretty good at lying about bucks. He said,
Yeah.
he said his camera was dead silent, and then you and I shot 2 bucks off of it. So
Yeah, so I don't know.
he is known for that.
You gotta watch him. He gets sneaky. So, the property this big and with as little time as you're gonna have, do you plan on having a lot of preset stands, or are you more looking at just being mobile so you can kind of move around and adjust to what you're seeing? Because I mean, you're not gonna be able to hunt it, after work per se like you could up here.
Yeah. I was thinking about putting one just main ladder stand for maybe a good spot for rifle season. But I plan on mostly mobile because when you hunt a new area, you want to be stationed somewhere where you think you could be at a better spot. So I think I'm just going to go mobile.
Yeah, it makes it easy if you've got a good stand that, makes that simple. If you're, November, you're sitting there and $3 come by, out of range, it's nothing to just pack it up real quick and move so you're in range. Because I've always been the kind of person that if I see 3 deer do the exact same thing,
Yeah.
I'm moving. If I couldn't kill them from where I'm at, like I will get down and I'll move, just because if 3 do it, there's a chance that there's another one coming.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes want to get down after the first one, but I also don't want to jump the gun either.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's all part of the chess game. So
So are you allowed to bait during the season where you're at? I know there's some places in Ohio that you're allowed to do that.
yeah.
Or do you plan on doing it? Or does anybody on the lease, are they into baiting or?
I mean, they had feeders there 2 years ago. I mean, I don't know if I'll be doing much of it, but yeah, it's definitely weird.
I know that's so foreign to us because
Yeah.
that's very illegal around here. So
Yeah, like New York, you can't even have a bait at all.
yeah, and even out of season.
Yeah.
Did your dad have any luck there years prior?
No, but he's seen some good slammers there, so
Really honing in on them.
yeah. I mean, he's got an idea where he's gonna be planning on hunting, and so it's kind of cool. We got that foot in the door too.
Yeah. So, obviously this is your first year hunting there, but seeing like what your dad's seen in the past and then, what your cameras are getting now. And I think you even had some cameras up at the end of last season, didn't you?
For where?
For your Ohio piece.
No.
So just this year you've got pictures.
Yeah.
You have any idea on like what you think you're going to be holding out for? Like what's your benchmark that you're trying to...
Booners or nothing?
I was told not to shoot under 120.
Okay. Now, I guess it's early, obviously, with all velvet picks. They can be a little bit misleading, but is that looking pretty
Yeah.
achievable then?
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully. I mean, I got, like I said, 3 cameras, and I see some deer on one camera. I don't even see it on my other camera. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of territory.
Yeah. And
Everything's it's just like here. I'll see bucks all summer long, and then as soon as hunting season comes, bam, I
They're
never
gone.
see them again. So,
And there's always new bucks that show up in October that you didn't see all summer. So it's, I mean, it all ends up working itself out.
yeah. And there's a lot of bobcats down there, too.
Really?
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can you trap them in Ohio?
When I heard you can't do anything, there's no way of legally harvesting, so,
That's unfortunate.
yeah.
Do you have any water sources on the property? I know you said there was ravines, but like, is there a stream or anything that runs through there?
Actually, there's a pond up front, too.
That could be key early season too.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, for how dry it's been. So.
With it, you said up front, is it like somewhere in the bean field or close to the bean field?
Yeah, it's behind the bean field.
So could you strategically place yourself to where you're
yeah.
in the woods, or like on the tree line, but pond and beans are both
Yeah,
in close proximity?
it would be tough to do that. I mean, it's kind of further shot out towards the pond, but I mean, yeah, you definitely could.
At least get a trail that looks like they're using to get to the pond.
Right. Which they do. I mean, you'd have to see on the map. It's hard to describe it, but
Yeah, we don't want to give too much away about the
Yeah.
property. You don't have to worry about like us 3, but I know I've heard from other people that, and I've even seen it. You give too much information away, whether it's a hunting property or a fishing property, something. there's always somebody that can figure it out if you give out too much info. So,
Right.
Is the pond stocked by any chance? It's a little bit off topic, but
When I went camping down there and I was got bass and what else did I get? A little pumpkin seed or what do you call those? Yeah.
yeah.
that's cool. It gives you something to do in the afternoon
Yeah.
if you're up there in the summer.
So is there any sort of structure on the property? Like, is there a barn or a cabin or lodge or anything? Or
One disadvantage. There is some houses nearby, but it's nothing crazy. But
I guess
There's a
I'm
lot of-
saying for you to stay. while
for me to stay, yeah, there's hotels.
But there's not like a building on the property.
No.
The property is completely vacant other than for hunting.
Other than an old barn, that's all that's there.
Okay. And I know you picked up recently a tent that hooks to your truck and everything. Is that how you plan on hunting it in the fall, or were you looking at more hotel while you're down there?
Yeah, that's why I got that. So hopefully I could plan on using that until it starts getting real cold. I don't know how cold it gets down there.
Oh, you can be a man about it.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
get- Definitely gets cold. I don't think you'll have to worry about snow as much as we do here.
Mhm.
yeah.
Get a
But-
good sleeping bag.
Yeah, it would be nice to just be right on the property.
Yeah,
when
then
you're going, but
wake up in the morning and you're right there. Don't got to worry about it.
One disadvantage about that lease, they see a ton of dogs just running wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
like coyote dogs or like
No,
hunting?
just regular residential dogs, people's pets, just running around.
That's it's
Is
a
it
pain
pretty
in the ass.
close to like a lot of other houses, or is it pretty remote? Yeah, I know you
I mean, there's
said there's a couple houses, but
if you're running the main stretch around, there's houses around, but it's just like,
Just kinda
like
farmland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom and I have had to deal with dogs on property in the last few
sure
years.
is annoying.
Yeah, and it's the property Tom and I hunt's a little bit bigger than that. But a neighbor has sheepdog that and sheep that also decide to get loose all
Yeah.
the time. And it's so frustrating when you put a bunch of time in.
It
And
really takes the wind out of your sails.
yeah, I mean, I was up in the tree one time, and I had a small buck and a doe, just feeding out in front of me at probably 40 yards, and then both of them just, looked in a direction and then gone. What the hell was that? So I sat for a little while longer. Nothing came through, hour later, so I get down, and an entire herd of sheep had moved in behind me, but like it was so brushy and stuff, I couldn't see them until I climbed down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, that's probably what spooked those deer. They just slowly kind of work their way in. And
Mm-hmm.
but for your sake, Austin, I really hope that the dogs don't cause too much of a problem. But
Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully not.
Thank you.
So yeah, cross my fingers, see what happens, and
now I know a lot of this could change coming into the season. But you've got property in Ohio, you got property in PA, and property in New York. How do you plan on splitting your time between the three, or is it going to be more of a game time decision what you're seeing on camera?
mostly game time. But like I said, I just want to hunt down there as early as possible before guys start coming in during rifle, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just I don't like fighting over where to hunt. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
if I could be in and out, I'd be happy with that.
Show up first day, shoot a 160,
Yeah.
be done with it.
Is
Right.
Ohio a $1 state?
Yeah.
I wish New York was too. I mean, it's nice, but if we look at the quality of deer that we have in the area, like if you could cut what people are killing in half, I feel like it would only help.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you know that are consistently shooting $2 a year?
One,
Yeah.
but
So I think it would.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to cut it in half. You're going to cut
No.
the allocated tags in half. But you
but-
wouldn't kill the harvest. You're cutting the
Well,
harvest.
I'm sure
in
there's
half.
probably a lot of New York hunters though that shoot the first spike that they see because there is no antler restriction. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If they only had one tag, or like if there was an antler restriction,
I
they
wish
might be a little more picky.
I wish too that New York, if you're gonna give me 2 tags, let me pick how I use them. I hate that one's archery, one's gun. Like why not?
I'm not against that.
I feel like if I could get it done twice in bow season, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, like if you had an opportunity to kill, both bucks with your bow.
I would much rather do that.
Why don't you
Yeah.
just take your bow out in rifle season?
Yeah.
Mm.
But that is the same thing, like you were saying, cut the number of tags in half. You're essentially doing that once archery season's over. You lose a tag at that point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you don't fill that tag in. All right, well,
Because there's a lot of people that gun hunt
they
that
don't.
don't archery hunt. So then you could go out and kill 2 bucks with your rifle.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier to kill 2 bucks with a rifle than it is with a bow.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're shooting yourself in the foot here, Nick.
Don't want to do that. Yeah, it's tough. I think PA is definitely good to keep just 1 buck with the
no
amount
doubt,
of people that
yeah.
hunt. But yeah, Austin, appreciate you explaining your
Yeah.
piece to us a little bit. I'm looking forward to it for you. I'm excited to see you hopefully kill a giant over in Ohio because I'd say the last 5 years or so, they've always had big deer, but it seems like they've been getting quite the spotlight the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
When we go down to the outdoor shows and stuff, it seems like some of the biggest bucks are getting taken out of Ohio lately.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hope you get the job done on a really big buck early because I want you to come to New York. I enjoy having you in camp up there. So if you don't kill a big buck, you're not going to be there. So get the job done.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Frank. Yeah.
I'm pulling for opening day buck for Austin in Ohio.
That'd be awesome.
That's
Kick off
right.
Deer Camp Series with Austin.
And that's right after the Nickelback concert, too. So.
Oh,
Oh,
baby.
that's right. So are you?
Oh, yeah, you're leaving the Nickelback concert in Pittsburgh and going straight to Ohio.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
the plan. So.
You're going to be hungover as shit.
Well,
I-
we'll keep it easy.
I remember Tom texted me. And we're getting way off topic here, but we'll close it out after this. But I remember Tom texted me, said, "Hey, Austin wants to go to a Nickelback concert. What do you say?" I'm like, "When is it?" He's
the
like,
day before the season.
I was like, Tom was like September 29th or whatever it was, and I'm like, "You do know what the next day is, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like,
We know.
all right, sounds good. I'm in.
Well, for us, it's only like a 2-hour drive back home.
You said you'd drive me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
Austin's
was-
got
that
a
was-
long drive. Are you leaving that night, or are you going to stay that night and then get up wicked early in the morning? I suppose you're just going to leave and
I'm
get
just
right
gonna
into
leave
a
and
tree.
just drive right there, yeah.
And pretty much get in the stand.
Yeah, it'll be time to hunt by the time you get there.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
Hey, you're a third shifter. You're used to being up
Yeah,
all
I
night.
guess. So we'll get a good cat nap beforehand.
Good deal. Well, I know you three are going to be shooting your bows.
Yeah, you still haven't fixed yours. 'cause
I'm
you're
in the
an idiot.
process. It's
blah,
in the
blah.
works.
You've been saying that for a month.
No, I didn't say that. I said I need to get on it. I am officially on it. Option Archery's been contacted. We're working out how to get it fixed. But yeah, so I'm hoping you guys all enjoy shooting your bows. Frank's gonna try and hit the target. We don't know. But on that note, you guys all know what to do. Get outside.